have a 4-mile run to do today as part of my marathon training. 1 mile is going to be a slow mile. 2 miles after that is going to be a faster pace mile, aiming for a 18-minute pace for those 2 miles. And then the last mile is going to be a more easy paced run. And then I'm going to go into strength training after that. I'm not going to record the run portion of it because it's hard to hold a camera while running. It's just awkward and shaky. So I'm not going to record the run, but I will see you when I go into my strength training portion. My pace ended up being faster than I originally planned. It was raining all day, so I had to run on the treadmill. The treadmill is very boring and tedious, and I just wanted to get done as quickly as possible. I usually give it some time after running before I go into weightlifting, at least an hour, but I was short on time today, so on here I went directly into weightlifting after my 4-mile run. Starting off, I did these hip thrusts, and for here I did 1 minute of 1 set. I then moved on to the Smith machine single leg squat, and on this exercise I also did 1 minute per leg. And with this one, it's nice because the Smith machine is in a fixed position, which means you don't have to worry about your balance when you're doing these single leg exercises when you're using a Smith machine. And you can really focus on that mind to muscle connection. For my lateral exercise, I'm doing these banded walks. I'm doing 10 on the left and then moving on 10 to the right. But as a whole, I just went back and forth, and I did 1 minute of this exercise as well. The key here, make sure your knees stay pushed out the whole time and keep your legs separated the whole time. I then move on to 1 minute of these RDLs. For this one though, I'm in more of a sumo stance, so it's more of a sumo RDL, and I'm making sure that I'm initiating the movement by pushing my hips back and then using my hamstrings and glutes to lift myself back up. And I'm only going down as far as I need to until I feel a really good stretch in my hamstrings. Next exercise, I'm still hitting the hamstrings, but on this one, it's a knee flexion exercise for the hamstrings versus the last exercise being a hip flexion movement pattern for the hamstrings. When you're doing a lying hamstring curl, something important to remember is that we're working our hamstrings, so we want to keep our hips pushed into the mat and isolating those hamstrings really well. So don't let your hips or your butt lift up off the bench as you're performing this exercise. Now I'm working my adductors, which is that inner thigh muscle. This one has a pretty small range of motion, but is very effective, and I'm making sure I'm keeping the weight light enough that I can really squeeze the inner thigh muscle and not you let other muscles jump in and kind of compensate for any weaknesses. And the last exercise is strengthening my hip flexors. When I ran my half marathon a few months ago, my right hip flexor was one of the muscles that definitely let me know that it was tired. So I've been working to strengthen both my hip flexors just so that I can be prepared for this marathon without giving me trouble like the last time. But that wraps up this workout. Thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.